This is Mindfulness with Richard. I focus on mindfulness meditation, listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Welcome. Today, I'll talk about using mindfulness as a support for feelings of insecurity and vulnerability. As we age, we encounter many changes, physically, emotionally, and socially. Changes that can challenge our sense of stability and security. Mindfulness can be a support during these times. As with dealing with many emotional issues with the mindfulness approach, it's not one of avoiding the issue, but rather to plunge into the emotions and feelings and use the mindful present moment awareness to experience whatever are the feelings. Fully experience them so you can release them. So here are some ways that mindfulness can offer support. First, in cultivating present moment awareness. Mindfulness encourages us to anchor our awareness in the present moment, rather than dwelling on past regrets or worrying about an uncertain future. By focusing our attention on the here and now, we can develop a greater sense of grounding and stability, even amidst the inevitable changes that come with aging. Mindfulness is open awareness of your body and emotions without criticism or judgment. Be open to what you're experiencing. Fully experience it, then let it go. Acceptance of impermanence. Aging confronts us with the reality of impermanence, the fact that everything, including our own bodies and identities, is subject to change. Mindfulness teaches us to embrace this truth with equanimity, allowing us to let go of attachments to youthfulness or idealized versions of ourselves and find peace in the ever-changing nature of life. Everything changes. You can try to resist the changes or figure out how to move with them. One way brings suffering. The other brings peace and a sense of freedom. Letting go of the past. Letting go of the past is a profound act of mindfulness, particularly when facing feelings of insecurity and vulnerability in aging. Mindfulness invites us to release the grip of regret and nostalgia, embracing the present moment with acceptance and compassion. By acknowledging the impermanence of life and letting go of attachments to past identities or experiences, we create space for growth, resilience, and inner peace. Letting go of experiences is possible when you fully experience them. Cultivating self-compassion. Mindfulness encourages us to approach ourselves with kindness and compassion, especially when we're feeling vulnerable or insecure. Instead of harsh self-criticism, we learn to offer ourselves the same warmth and understanding that we would extend to a dear friend, facing similar challenges. Be gentle with yourself. Building resilience through breath awareness. The practice of mindful breathing can serve as an anchor during times of insecurity or vulnerability. By turning our attention to the rhythmic flow of the breath, we can regulate our nervous system, calm racing thoughts, and foster a sense of inner peace and resilience in the face of uncertainty. Watching the breath, feeling the flow of breath brings us into the present moment. The present moment is free of memories of the painful past or the worrisome future. Exploring the mind-body connection. Aging often brings physical changes that can impact our emotional well-being. Mindfulness invites us to explore the connection between our bodies and minds, cultivating greater awareness of how our thoughts and emotions manifest in bodily sensations. This somatic awareness can help us respond more skillfully to discomfort or pain, reducing the suffering associated with physical challenges. The body changes. Find a way to acceptance of these changes. Find meaning and purpose. Mindfulness invites us to explore the deeper dimensions of life and find meaning and purpose beyond external circumstances. As we age, this search for meaning becomes increasingly important, guiding us towards activities, relationships, and pursuits that bring fulfillment and joy regardless of our age or physical condition. At this time of our life, often this can be in supporting and giving to those around us, or in finally unleashing some creative energy. You have much that is special to give. This is a time to give it. Connecting with community. Mindfulness can also be a powerful tool for fostering connection and community, especially for elders who may be experiencing feelings of isolation or loneliness. Group mindfulness practice, such as meditation circles or mindful walking groups, offer opportunities for social connection and support. That's what we're doing here, enhancing our sense of belonging and resilience as we age. Just mindful listening to another is a great way to build community. Community is more important in this time of our life. We don't have our kids with us. We are each other's support system. Embracing change with equanimity. Mindfulness teaches us to approach change with equanimity, recognizing that all things arise and pass away according to the natural rhythms of life. Equanimity is equal-mindedness, taking things evenly as they arise and fall away. By cultivating a non-reactive stance towards the ups and downs of aging, we can navigate transitions with greater grace and acceptance, finding beauty and wisdom at every stage of life's journey, finding joy and beauty in the present moment. Let's also acknowledge that feeling vulnerable is a natural part of the human experience. It's okay to feel uncertain or insecure, especially when confronted with the inevitable changes that come with aging. Rather than resisting these feelings, mindfulness invites us to embrace them with compassion and acceptance. One of the key principles of mindfulness is grounding ourselves in the present moment. When we anchor our awareness in the here and now, we cultivate a sense of stability and centeredness that can counteract feelings of insecurity. Mindfulness offers a transformative approach to addressing feelings of insecurity and vulnerability in aging by fostering present moment awareness, self-compassion, resilience, and a deep sense of connection to ourselves and the world around us. Through regular practice, we can cultivate our inner resources, the resources we need to navigate the challenges of aging with grace, dignity, and a renewed sense of purpose. So let's take a moment to practice this together. Find a comfortable seated position with your feet flat on the floor and your hands resting gently in your lap. Close your eyes or simply soften your gaze. Begin by taking a few deep breaths, inhaling deeply through your nose and exhaling slowly through your mouth. Feel the sensation of the breath as it enters and leaves your body, allowing each inhale to ground you more deeply in the present moment. Release tension with each breath out. Now shift your attention to the physical sensations in your body. Notice the contact points between your body and the chair or the floor beneath you. Feel the support of the earth beneath you, grounding you and providing a sense of stability. As you continue to breathe deeply, bring your awareness to any areas of tension or discomfort in your body. With each exhale, imagine releasing any tension or tightness, allowing yourself to sink deeper into relaxation and ease. Now, Bring your attention to your thoughts and emotions and notice any feelings of insecurity or vulnerability that may arise. Maybe remember a feeling that you had like this recently. Look at these feelings without judgment or resistance. Simply observe the thoughts and feelings as passing clouds in the sky of your mind, knowing that they do not define you. You are not touched by any of the clouds. With each breath, affirm to yourself, I am strong. I am resilient. I am grounded in the present moment. I am a mountain unshaken by the winds around me. Allow these words to sink into your being, nurturing a sense of inner strength and assurance within you. Take a few more moments to simply be, resting in the stillness and the peace of the present moment. Know that you have the power to face whatever challenges may come your way with courage and resilience. And when you feel ready, gently open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you. And carry this sense of inner strength and groundedness with you as you continue your journey through life. And thank you for joining me in this practice. May you always remember the inherent strength that lies within you, guiding you through life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. So, how was your meditation last week, Barley?
Oh, good. I'm still trying to learn how to meditate, doing a walking meditation. So you've reminded me many times, but it's sinking in a little bit more to feel my feet. And I find myself thinking, and then I stop. I recognize that I'm thinking, and I go back to feeling my feet.
That's good. That's
And I
perfect.
also, yeah, I
Right, go
also
ahead.
started a new weightlifting thing. And I keep thinking that when I'm doing that and when I'm doing yoga, I'm only concentrating on the position of my body. So it's sort of meditative,
Right, it is
not quite
meditative.
as meditative, but
You can increase the meditative content if you also pay attention when you're doing that to the feel of your body.
right. Oh, good.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
this turning your attention to the feelings of your body, every time you do that, you're taking the default mind network, the monkey mind, and
Mhm.
you're giving it something to do, and giving
Mhm.
it something to do makes it quiet.
Yeah.
The
Well, I do entirely too much sitting, so I really
uh-huh,
need looking for movement. And
that's
I
right.
like movement anyway. Yeah.
Uh-huh. The metaphor the Indians use for this kind of meditation is the elephant. And they say if you're just letting the elephant go around, their trunk waves everywhere and gets in all kind of trouble. But if you just give them something to carry with their trunk, it calms down.
Hmm.
So our mind is like that.
Yeah. I like the idea the elephant can wave his trunk around, do his thing.
That's right, except when you're there it's pretty strong.
Is it? Oh, okay.
And it can knock things over when you're going through town.
Oh.
And you need to keep your elephant well behaved. Anyway, how about you, Joyce?
So I had been doing some walking meditation, especially at the beach and at night to help me sleep. And I've had some anxiety between my stepsister's illness and my daughter's anxiety. So I think I've been thinking about the last few days going to something like Carol has done where she follows a guided meditation because I think it might be easier for me to focus my mind on someone else's voice
Mm-hmm.
than to try to focus internally when my mind is racing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good to get external help, and that's really how you start with all of this process, looking for someone who can give you help and kind of guide you along the way. Then there comes a time when you don't need the help anymore. And uh, that's a natural progression. Uh, getting the help you need and having the sense to realize that that is good and to try different things
Mm-hmm.
uh, is also real good practice, because we're all different and we all have different mental habits and needs, and what each of us needs because of that is different. And what we have to do is find a way within ourselves to deal with this stuff and to find peace and to get it where we can make our mind quiet. We can do it. We just have to figure out what kind of thing to put in the elephant's trunk
There you go.
so it stops waving around. How about you, Joyce? And how about you, June? Excuse me, Jane.
Um,
My mind isn't working. I apologize.
that's fine, Richard. Um, I I had foot surgery on Monday. It's like 3 days ago, and it enforces the need to not be walking around or doing anything. You're just lying there, and of course, that's a good opportunity to meditate. Um, I've dealt with that by reading a lot, and my needs for what I read change, according to, do I need lightness? Do I need depth? Do I need something to occupy my mind? And I picked up a book that I've had for a long time, Eckhart Tolle, and just reading through it just gives my mind something to think about, and it sort of shows me where the edges are in myself of my values and my, well, more than that, more um, what what other people have found helpful. What are some of those things that I haven't deeply pondered? And so it's sort of a thinking meditation, but I'm focused on taking it in deeply. I don't know how else to explain it.
Mm-hmm. And certainly thinking about it and considering it and reflecting on your life and all of these things are a part of the process. The ancient process, as taught by the Hindus, has three parts. The first part is listening or reading. Uh, you know, all of this stuff starts with some kind of desire to find something that we feel like isn't there in our life, and
Absolutely.
something that we have some kind of instinct towards. So that's the first part. Then what we do, we don't know. Our ego doesn't know. It's past the limits of our ideas, and we need help. We need a guide. And then so we listen and read and absorb this stuff that can lead us out of the limits that we have. After we have the listening, the next part is this cognitive mental reflection, thinking about it, thinking about the truth, comparing what you hear with your own life, looking at the limits within your own life and how your ideas are in your way, and all of this stuff. That's a big part of the process. Then, after you're through thinking about it, then comes deep meditation. And what happens in the deep meditation is you turn what you have heard and what you have thought about into experience. Somehow it becomes experiential knowledge instead of cognitive knowledge. So you know it more deep and closer to your own being instead of with your mind. So that's the progression of the whole thing. And part of what you're describing there is the reflection part.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's interesting to me, uh, having read about this stuff for a long time, is watching people going through naturally the steps that these guys wrote about thousands of years ago.
Absolutely. And they all say the same thing. They each say it in their own way through their own personal experience. And it's like the I Ching. You can open any book of wisdom, no matter what page it is, and get something
Yes.
needed to hear in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's
Um, the, the thing that I was reading yesterday was about uh, Eckhart Tolle saying that I've kind of lost it now, but just that your true self is your deep self. I mean, all that identity stuff and what you did and what you've been and who you've been with, that's all just ego.
right.
But trying to really the question is, do we accept or do we fight back with whatever's happening now? And so I had to ask myself, I think I'm pretty aware of not fighting back so much. It's like Matt talked about on Sunday, either cooperating or competing, and just cooperating with life and going into that deep part of yourself that's aligned with God and saying, am I aligned with God right now or not? Just constantly having that question right in front of me. Am I aligned? Am I aligned? Am I aligned? And that's my meditation. That's seems to be where it's going.
Now, something that you may find useful in the process that you're going through right now is, you've already noticed there is ego in all of these ideas of who you are, and there's all this stuff. Within all this stuff, there is something that is always there,
And
that
that is the
is not
essential answer
touched
to the
by.
question. That is the essential answer, is what I'm picking up. That's the essential answer to the question, who am I?
Mhm.
That deeper stuff. And if you just see the identity stuff as passing clouds and
Yes,
go beyond that.
yes, yes. And all the passing clouds are known by something that's always there. And whoever you are, you have to be what's always there because,
You
in
can't be
your own
anything else.
experience, you're always there. Has there ever
Yes.
been a moment you're not there?
Yes. Yes.
So that is certainly going in the right direction. And again, the ego, certainly one of the things that I've had to deal with and learn is the ego is only my idea of myself.
Yes.
And it turns out that I am actually limited by that idea.
Mhm.
I'm this, and that idea is this.
And not only that, it's fixed. What doesn't allow change, which is the way life is anyway. Life always changes.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, very good. It's wonderful listening to each of you as you're, uh, confronting and dealing with this stuff and learning about what it's like when you start peeling the onion.
Yeah. And you never get, the onion seems to have no center because it's always beyond you. You can keep, it's like it's an onion with unlimited layers.
But there is still something that
Yes.
knows all the layers. And while you go through all the layers, there's something that doesn't change.
That's right.
And, people have tried to call it different things, and it doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that that something is there that doesn't change. One kind of phrasing that I've heard and use and love is it's closer to you than your breath.
Absolutely. And you have to take that in, and at first you have to trust that that's true.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And then it gets easier. You
Yes,
know it.
yes, yes. All right, now let us proceed today. And I have another one of these videos, How to Conquer Fear and Become Fearless, Zen Story.
Fear is an intrinsic part of the human experience. It manifests in various forms, paralyzing us and preventing us from fully embracing life's opportunities. Eastern philosophy offers profound insights and practical wisdom to help us transcend fear and cultivate inner peace. By exploring the principles of mindfulness, detachment, and interconnectedness, we can navigate the labyrinth of fear and discover the path to liberation. Fear arises from our deeply ingrained attachments and aversions. It emerges when we perceive a threat to our security, identity, or well-being. However, Eastern philosophy teaches us that fear is an illusion, a product of our own minds. In reality, fear is nothing more than the resistance to what is, Recognizing this truth empowers us to confront fear and transform it into an instrument for growth. Mindfulness is a foundational practice in Eastern philosophy that enables us to confront fear directly. By being fully present in each moment, we develop an awareness of our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations. Through mindfulness, we can observe fear without judgment, acknowledging its presence without becoming entangled in its grip. Detachment lies at the heart of overcoming fear. Eastern philosophy encourages us to let go of our attachments to outcomes, desires, and expectations. By releasing our grip on the future, we free ourselves from the anxieties that accompany fear. Detachment fosters a sense of surrender, allowing us to embrace uncertainty and welcome whatever unfolds with equanimity. One of the profound teachings of Eastern philosophy is the recognition of our interconnectedness with all beings and the universe itself. By realizing that we are part of a vast, intricate web of existence, fear loses its power over us. We understand that our fears are not isolated, but shared by countless others. This realization inspires compassion and unity, providing strength to face fear with courage. Now, let us explore a story that exemplifies the wisdom of Eastern philosophy in overcoming fear. In a distant village nestled at the foot of a towering mountain, there lived a young man who was plagued by fear. He was a bright and promising individual, but his potential was often overshadowed by his apprehensions. Fear seemed to permeate every aspect of his life, preventing him from taking risks and embracing new experiences. Determined to overcome this invisible barrier, he sought the guidance of a wise elder who was renowned for his understanding of Eastern philosophy. The young man traveled to the elder's humble abode, a tranquil sanctuary surrounded by blooming cherry blossoms and the soft murmur of a nearby stream. The elder greeted him with a serene smile, and they sat together beneath the shade of a towering oak tree. The young man poured out his heart, explaining his struggles with fear and his fervent desire to break free from its grip. The elder listened intently, his gaze fixed upon the distant horizon. After a moment of contemplation, he began to speak in a gentle yet resolute voice. He told the young man a tale that had been passed down through generations, a story of ancient wisdom and profound insight. Long ago, in a vast kingdom, there lived a renowned archer. His arrows never missed their mark, and his skill was unmatched. One day, a young disciple approached him, seeking to learn the secrets of his remarkable aim. The archer agreed to teach the young disciple, but laid down a condition. He would only impart his wisdom once the disciple overcame his fear of failure. The young man's eyes widened with curiosity as he leaned forward, engrossed in the tale. The elder continued, his voice carrying a touch of compassion. The archer led the disciple to a tranquil bamboo grove. He handed him a bow and a single arrow, instructing him to shoot at a tiny target in the distance. But as the disciple raised his bow, his hands trembled, and fear gripped his heart. He feared missing the target and disappointing his master. The archer watched him patiently, knowing that fear was the obstacle that lay before his student's progress. Days turned into weeks, and the disciple tirelessly practiced in the bamboo grove. The archer observed his efforts, providing guidance and support, but never giving in to the disciple's pleas for the secret to his perfect aim. Finally, one morning, as the sun bathed the grove in a warm golden light, the disciple stood before his master, his hand steady and his heart resolute. The elder paused for a moment, allowing the young man to absorb the significance of the story. Then he continued, his voice carrying a profound weight. The archer smiled, for he knew that his student had overcome his fear. He revealed to the disciple that the secret to his perfect aim lay not in the physical act of shooting an arrow, but in the stillness of his mind. When the disciple's heart was free from fear, his aim was true. In that moment, the disciple understood that the key to overcoming fear was not to suppress it or fight against it, but to acknowledge its presence and cultivate a sense of inner stillness. The young man sat in silence, his thoughts swirling within him. The elder's words resonated deep within his soul, awakening a new understanding. He realized that fear was not an enemy to be defeated, but a teacher guiding him towards self-discovery. With renewed determination, the young man thanked the elder for his wisdom and returned to his village. From that day forward, he approached his fears with a gentle curiosity, acknowledging their presence and embracing the lessons they brought. With each step, his confidence grew, and fear gradually lost its grip on his life. Inspired by the wisdom of the elder and the tale of the archer, the young man embarked on a journey of self-discovery. Along the way, he encountered various challenges and obstacles, but he faced them with a newfound sense of inner stillness. Through patience, perseverance, and a deep understanding of his fears, he blossomed into a courageous individual who lived life to its fullest. And so, in the tranquil village at the foot of the mountain, the tale of the young man who overcame his fears spread far and wide, inspiring others to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery. It became a reminder that fear, when met with understanding and an open heart, can be transformed into a catalyst for growth and personal liberation. And thus, the legacy of the young man and the wisdom of Eastern philosophy lived on, empowering countless souls to face their fears and embrace the fullness of life.
And now we'll take some time to meditate ourselves. Mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally, fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go. right. And we'll close with a chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Any comments or discussion after this? Well, just rest in the peace that you are finding. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
You want deeper meditation, more peace, more happiness. Subscribe now to continue to find ways to get more from your meditation.